Welcome to another live stream. Good to have you all. Hopefully that camera is in focus. Let me know. It seems to be wigging out again. Let me just see. There we go. Looks better. Little hoarse. I don't know why. It's just I haven't been talking all day long, and now all of a sudden I am talking. Let me hit record. So we are now recording and we are streaming, so we're live. Let me know if it sounds good. And if you are live with me tonight and you haven't said hi yet in the chat, please take a minute and do that. Also, I have a poll that says this: have you ever worked or streamed with an Osee GoStream switcher? So if you have, or have not, please answer the poll. I'm just curious because we are going to talk about some news that came out at NAB. And we do have a few people with me online. There's not a big crowd tonight, but we are live. It is Tuesday, and we have a couple tricks up our sleeves tonight. So let's just say that we may be doing a remote into the studio tonight from another part of the house. So stay tuned for that. That will be a lot of fun. And if you're watching this after the fact, eventually I'll get some chapter markers on here, but that'll be towards the end of tonight. If you want to fast forward, if you're live, you can't do that, but please make sure you say hi in the chat. Also, if you would be so kind to hit the like button tonight, I would really appreciate it. We are going to talk about three things tonight. We're going to talk about a new switcher. I think it's a big deal. Announced at NAB out there in the pre-release stages. There's only a few videos online. I will make sure all of those links are in the description tonight, as well as some links to the other items we're going to talk about. We'll talk a little bit about my semi-retirement journey with my wife, Shannon, and getting I just purchased an e-bike recently, so we're going to talk about that. We're actually going to go to the garage later tonight. You guys are going to see the bike. You're going to see it's going to be show and tell tonight. So hang tight. It's going to be a lot of fun. But we're going to spend pretty much the first half of tonight talking about switchers. And those of you that have been watching the channel for a while know that I have a number of switchers in my studio. But right now, let's just say hi to those of you who are in the chat, and let's just go in here. Grish was in here earlier. Hi, Grish. It's great to have you. Tony was in here earlier, and audio is good. Focus is in and out. Yeah, it seems to be a prompter issue. So my prompter is hanging with an adapter. Do I have any of those adapters? I do. Let's grab one. These are the adapters that you can screw onto your lens and then hang the prompter off. Obviously, I'm not using this size. I have a size on there, and it seems to affect the lens's ability to focus. So let me go full screen on my multi-view, and you'll see it behind me as well. No, I want this camera. And yeah, it seems okay looking at that. I can't look directly into it, but maybe we're good. And so let me know if that looks better. So I have a Wireless Go 2 on tonight, though I am thinking about retiring the Wireless Go 2 and getting a Wireless Go Pro because I want to be able to use it with the Road app for NDI. Anybody else pop in tonight, I will make sure I say hi. Oh, I do see. Let's see. Why are we not getting a updated list tonight? Let me just see if I can find this. There we go. Yeah, it's not coming in. So let me do a couple things here real quick. Let's see. Did this get shut down? No. I'm just not getting it. So let me exit this, pop out the chat again, drag it over here. Everybody's in there now. Let me copy the pop-out chat Aaron Parecki link. Make sure that that is going to work in our stream tonight so that I can actually share and say hi and put it on the screen. So pasting that in, clicking OK. Now let's go in here. There we go. So Morris Live Productions from Miami, Florida. It's great to have you. Obviously, probably Morris might be your last name. If you'd like to share your first name, that would be great. Tony says, audio is good. Focus is in and out. Looking forward to seeing the e-bike. Hello from Miami. Happy to watch your live just in case it didn't get it. So cool. So again, we're going to talk about the Osee switcher. If you guys saw my still image, here it is again. It is Osee announced this at NAB 2026. It's called the GoStream Omni 12 ISO. And we are going to take a look at that device as best we can. I have some still images. I have some websites open. But what interests me about this device is it's pretty loaded. And that is really, really cool. So let me put chat on the air here. And Michael. So it's good to have you, Michael. Thank you for sharing your name with us. And if anybody else pops in, I will say hi. But again, not streaming just for everybody that's not in the chat, which is why we go live, so we can have a conversation. So I do appreciate those of you that join me every week. And those of you that are watching it delayed, I appreciate that as well. And again, I hope you'll hit the like button and get this out. Lots of things are changing in the industry, and many people have been asking for more channels, and there has been new switchers that came out. People have been asking for a number of things. Let's just review those. More than 4 inputs, and then obviously Blackmagic Design and a number of other manufacturers did that, including Osee. They have a number of switchers all the way up to 8 channels. And then people were asking for SDI and HDMI, and Osee and a number of other manufacturers did that, where you have a choice between HDMI and SDI. People wanted more mobility, so YoloLiv came out with a YOLO box, and now they have a 4K streaming potential. And I streamed on my channel, I think 2 weeks ago, 4K from the YOLO Box Extreme. We also have done videos here from Rodecaster Video, and they obviously have the Rodecaster Video and the Rodecaster Video S. And then recently they announced the Core, which is a buttonless, basically a Rodecaster Video S, and you can integrate it with the Rodecaster Pro 2 and the Rodecaster Pro Duo. And so actually, if you have a Duo, you'll get 4 channels, and you can mix and match those and use the buttons on your Rodecaster Pro Duo to control the core. And also with the Rodecaster Pro 2, you would have 6 channels of audio, and you can interchange them, and you can control the buttons on the core. And the difference between the core and the Rodecaster Pro Video S is it has one more USB-C on output or input on the front of the core. And I'm sure that's because it's intended to be integrated with a regular Rodecaster Pro 2 or Rodecaster Pro Duo. So they didn't want you to lose your 2 USB-C ports in the back. So again, I think I have that right. I believe there's 2 USB-C ports on the back. So and all these devices have different options. The Rodecaster devices are all HDMI and USB-C. You can use webcams. They have Rodecaster Video has NDI. The YOLO box has just HDMI, but it can stream in 4K, where the Rodecaster Video S, Rodecaster Video Core cannot. And so lots of things going on out there. And so having a option for SDI, if you want to go long distances, or HDMI and also some other features, is really cool. And that's why we are going to take a look at this device. So let's do this. Let's go to their Facebook page. Let's see. And I'll bring this up, me and my laptop. So here you have a post, osee.text post. So there's lots of these posts. We'll look at a couple videos. I'm not going to play the videos, but I'll show you the videos, and you can get to the links in tonight's notes and then go check these things out. But again, the device that we're talking about tonight is the GoStream Omni 12 ISO. And so that was on my still image. And so this is basically, now it's your choice. We're dropping Amazon gift cards and exclusive GoStream Omni 12 ISO coupons right now. Yes, this is real giveaway. So there's actually some promotions taking place for this device. And then if we go on to X and look at it, you have this little flyer, and this is out there in the world of the internet, even though NAB is really the only place this device, as far as I know, has been shown. And there are a few videos, and we'll look again at links to those videos, and I'll show you some footage, even though I'm not going to play those whole videos. But if you want to see the device, here's a picture of it again. GoStream Omni 12, no Android crashing. They're saying broadcast workflow, versatile interface, well-designed panel, professional buttons, more like the new G2 by Blackmagic Design that's replacing the old ATEM Mini Extreme ISO, has now been replaced with the ATEM Extreme G2 ISO, I believe. XLR audio, which is the #1 thing that many of us have asked to be changed in the ATEM, so we get that in the G2, even though I do not have an ATEM G2 in my studio. I wish I did, but it's $2,100. We're going to talk about some of these devices that are giving us a lot of things that we want and the quality that we're looking for, but is it the price we're looking for? And are they affordable? Are they being basically priced out of feasibility for many of us who have smaller studios, smaller channels? And if I'm going to teach and train on a device, is a G2 really going to draw any clients? Is there a lot of people using it? Who knows? But I do know the G2 a little bit better now because one of my clients has one. And so pretty cool. So 12 inputs, 6 outputs, 4K, HDMI, SDI, NDI, and SRT. You have graphic overflows, ISO recording, and you can see it's got a card in the back, this picture on the second row on the right. 3 angles from one camera, which is really interesting. So kind of a crop of a 4K input, so you can move around it like a PTZ camera, but not exactly. And I've seen that feature in some cameras where they're 4K, so you can actually crop around the 4K at 1080p. Those cameras have been around for a while. It sounds like they've integrated that technology into the Osee. Now, I've never had an Osee GoStream. I do believe they reached out to me about a year ago. I'll have to go back through my emails to see if I wanted to look at another device that they had, but it's really hard for me to keep track because now I've been getting some of those emails. Then you have 12 layers, so basically the ability to do keys, obviously, and then a side view right here. And so, again, not sure exactly when we're going to get more specs and when we're going to get pricing and when this device is going to get released, but I'm excited to say that this device is out there. Now, one of the people that was actually, and I didn't go to NAB, we went on a cruise instead. I do want to go to NAB next year, and we've already started talking about going to stay with friends in Las Vegas and going to NAB next year. And bypassing the cruise ship. But if you go to Leo Paza TV, and let me just put this up here, he has a bunch of videos on this device. He actually was at the Osee table and demoing this device. And so here is one of the videos, so you can see it here in his hand. And as we go through this video, here is a close-up of the device. See if we can get this video to actually play. So again, there's lots of videos on YouTube. Just waiting for this to render. There we go. So he talks about it, so I will put links of the descriptions in the video, but here is, he's about to show the back. So you can see HDMI and SDI inputs and outputs. You have XLR. They're not combo jacks, but they are XLR. You can see a number of USB-C ports. So I believe it supports web cameras. Again, you have XL audio, so that should help you be able to take a regular interface and use the outputs to bring in right and left channels into the GoStream. And so you have Ethernet, then a couple inputs for, it looks one's for headphones, one's probably an audio input, 3.5, and the other one looks like it's a headphone output. I don't know if it has two. And so if we continue here in his video, here's a little bit better close up. So you do have two outputs, HDMI, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inputs right here. They're numbered 1 through 8. And then you have these two outputs right here, and then a power supply. And it looks like a regular antenna. So I'm not sure what that antenna is for. But again, this was on display at NAB, and it looks pretty cool. So don't know what the price is going to be, but the buttons look pretty nice. If we look at the front of this device, see if we can get there and get this to refresh. If this doesn't work, I will just drag over. Not sure what's going on right now with my computer, but let's drag this over. So you can see it's got professional buttons on it, and you can see how many buttons are on the front, you've got 2 rows of 8. Then you got media player 1, media player 2. It looks like an M/source. That might be a super source button. You have a shift. So obviously you can shift and use those, but you have a program row and you have a preview row. You got a transition bar, a protected fade to black. You can see you got downstream key 1, downstream key 2 on there. And then all the keys on the top, it looks like there's a bit of a matrix up there to adjust. Macros on the left-hand side, you have 10 macros, where the ATEM Extremes only have 6. Same with the new G2. And then there is a player, because you can see on the top left, there are video buttons. I should probably add myself here in picture to the screen. So let me go to my downstream key 2 and let me put myself on the screen here. There we go. And we'll size this down. So right below my photograph, you can see you've got forward and back play, media clip buttons, and that's pretty cool. You have record buttons below that. I'm looking for a stream button. So does it encode and stream directly from it? I would be surprised if it does not. The second row of buttons right below me, right here, looks like it says how many seconds forward and back, make clip, pausing clips. So it may have, oh, there's the stream button right below me, down there, 4 rows. So that's really cool. Solo and a headphone button in the middle. Auxiliary buttons, auxiliary 3, auxiliary 4 up there. It looks like you've got a number of mic inputs. Maybe there's a mic 3 and mic 4. I'm not sure what those buttons do. But again, 10 macros. There's a locking button. There's a PTZ control on the right-hand side. That's pretty cool. So yeah, this is looking like a pretty cool device. Let me get the commercial done playing on the video here again. And yeah, this video is just not going to play for me. So lots of cool features on this. You can see in the description below. Hardware reliability, broadcast panel, 12 flexible channels, and it tells you, I'm just looking at that, 8 SDI, HDMI 4, and HDMI, 4 NDI, SRT, and RTMP, 2 MP4 players, 2, what does that say, webcam inputs. So that is pretty cool. Virtual cameras, recording, instant replay on the bottom right-hand side in the graphics. So it has instant replay. It has RTMP. It has lots of really cool features, and that's pretty stinking exciting. So let's take that key off the air here. And so there's that video. Then there's this video, and you can see the Super Source multi-view here. And this is some of the menus of the Omni 12 ISO playing here. And he does this demo. This link is in the description tonight as well. That's me. Again, here's a close-up of those buttons, and they look like they're quality, where you can pop them off and then put a different number in here. It says it's a 12 input, so evidently, like the Rodecaster video, they're counting the NDI input. So like my Rodecaster video has 4 HDMI inputs, then it has 5 and 6, but a 5th and 6th button that you can make NDI, or I can assign one of the HDMIs to 5 and 6, but I only have 4 HDMI inputs. I also have webcam inputs on the Rodecaster video, and they've updated it so it will take more cameras. Web cameras are more compatible, and we're going to do a test in the next couple of weeks of webcams in the Rodecaster video. We're going to go live from it. I'll probably go live from the Extreme like I am tonight, the A10 Mini Extreme, and then we'll just plug the Rodecaster video in one of the inputs so that we can plug in different webcams and I won't cause it to crash while I'm live. So let's put chat on the air. It looks like, do we have some questions? No, I think we're good. Impressive I/O on the GoStream, Tony says. Yeah, my chat again is not adding new people. I don't know what the deal is. There it is. So, yeah, I agree with you, Tony. It really, really is impressive I/O. And so let's just continue to peruse some of these videos. I did that one. Did this one. Don't need that one. Don't need that one. Don't need that one. So again, the I/O on the back. Here is a close-up of the XLRs. That is a microphone input next to a headphone input. And then you can see the USB-C ports. This one has a little picture of a computer. This has another picture here. I don't know what these icons represent. Here's that 3 and 4. So I think that's the ability to bring in audio interfaces in, like bringing in a Rodecaster Pro 2 or Rodecaster Pro Duo, because I did see those audio buttons on the front panel. So that's probably what those are. So it looks like you can bring in some webcams, you can bring in USB, you can bring in SDI. Let's continue to go here. Gets out of focus when you get into these. But you do see the outputs down here. And so you have four SDIs. So, but only two ACMIs. So I'm not quite sure about what these are, but again, pretty impressed with this device. Osee is definitely trying to bring out a panel that can make a difference with people that are looking for something with more inputs, integration with SDI and HDMI. I don't know if it's going to stream 4K, but again, there it goes. It's moving now. Not very quickly. Let's see if we can find another spot here. Get this to refresh right there. Might go to another commercial. So let the commercial play. Just trying to use some of these pictures from these videos to get us a better idea of what's going on with this device. And because I'm streaming, I'm sure it's slowing down my internet. I'm trying to actually access these pages without letting the video render normally. So let's see if I can get that up. What else do I have here? Not getting, there we go. Me and a laptop. So here you have the multi-view, and then you looks like Super Source on the left. So basically, it looks like you have the ability to do Super Source. You have 3 cameras on display, and then you can see kind of the way this works. You have PTZ controls on the top. Zoom, and then you have a menu, then you have a toolbar, and then you have my setup. You got audio on the bottom right. You have a logo right there. I'm guessing probably one of these is a video because there's already 8 inputs. So one looks like it's a still image and the other one looks like it's a video. Let me bring this up full screen. So there's kind of a look at Super Source on display, it looks like, the program. I see like in the 3rd row that there is, hopefully my mouse is on the screen, right here, there is the Super Source. So definitely has the ability to do multiple cameras. You can see all the audio channels clear across there. So it looks like it has 12 plus 4. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So looks like a main and then 13 inputs if I counted those right. And again, those buttons that I saw are right here underneath these 2 rows are that 3 and 4 button. And that I think is USB-C audio. But again, I don't know. You can see you got things lit up, you got colors, you got a transition bar, fade to black, some type of PTZ control, I believe. So let me know what you think in the chat of this incredible device that is going to be available, I think, soon. So here is a still image of a ad they have coming up. So you can go out and try to get a coupon if this is something that you want to add. But here's the IO again. You can take a look at this. and all the way over. I wish I had a close-up of those right inputs on the far right to see what those SDI cables do. I'll look on this video and see if there is any clue. Put my logo back up there. So they have multiple monitors. Let's see if that will refresh. Give it a second. I'll grab a drink here real quick. So why that's refreshing, to see if I can get that other view of the screens. There you go. So you got some scorekeeping going on this monitor. It looks like a monitor turned sideways by Osee. And then that looks like that's the program up there. So that's kind of cool. A monitor that would display 3 separate outputs. And that may be SDI, I'm not sure. So you have a multi-view, and then you have this monitor, and then obviously a laptop, and then it looks like they have a NDI camera running on top of a device. So then again, there is a close-up of that Osee monitor on the left. I haven't been able to get a clear look at the barcode, but let's go back to see if we can find Osee's page here. And so here is Osee's page. They are already selling this 8-input Versatile Pro XLR. And so there it is in a case. So scroll down here. 5 to 7 inch displays. Here's the production monitor. This could be the one that we just saw being displayed. Here is a list of Osee's products. So you have a bunch of monitors, you have accessories, you got the GoStream Duet 8 ISO kit, the GoStream Duet 8 ISO, so there's a kit as well. GoStream Duet kit, GoStream M2, GoStream Duet, GoStream Deck, GoStream Deck kit, and GoStream Deck NDI HX. So let's just go up here and look at this kit. So here is the case that you can get, $1,795. I don't know if that GoStream Duet 8 ISO kit, all-in-one pro live streaming multi-camera video switcher, ISO recorder, player kit, 4 HDMI, and an SDI and an USB-C. So here is their 8 ISO, which is $899. So you do the math, try to figure out how much it's going to cost for the 12. Here's a GoStream Duet kit, and the Duet, GoStream M2, kind of reminds me of Rode's initial device, GoStream Deck, GoStream Duet, SDI on the side. I think this is the device they reached out to me and asked me if I would be interested in testing it out. I didn't know anything about them, so I didn't dive in. And then here's a GoStream NDI license. So it doesn't sound like the NDI license is included with their devices. Enter the serial number on your device. Please submit. So you will have to buy an NDI license, and it's nice with Rode, you don't have to buy an NDI license, which I'm a fan of not having to pay any more money, but we don't know what these are going to cost yet. So let's look at their biggest monitor here. So here is a big monitor they sell for $12.19. It's a 21-inch, 1,000 nit HDR field production monitor. And so I would hope that it has focus peaking and all of that built into it. I don't see any photographs. There's sunscreens available. So you have a picture-in-picture ability. So this is obviously not the monitor we saw with 3 different things. Yeah, but here's you do have waveform, you have vectors. And so they make monitors. I can't click on these 2 down here for whatever reason. I don't know why it says minus, so. And so this is new, the Duet 8 ISO, and this is new. So this looks like the monitor that we saw on display. And so it looks like you can do some portrait layouts, or you can do it sideways like you see right here. And that's what they were doing in that NAB display. So that's pretty cool. So if you had an event and you wanted a compact way of having 3 landscape monitors, you could use this Osee or have 2 of them. It's $15.99. It's not inexpensive, but it's 1,500 nits. That's really good brightness. It has 4K 60 plus 3 3G SDI inputs. So interesting. Do we have a picture of the back? No, but here's kind of a size perspective, and it's definitely a production monitor, and 1:4 camera monitoring. So evidently you can do 4. Oh yeah, here's the layouts. So now my monitor currently is a BenQ 32-inch. And it can do some of these layouts. Like I can do picture-in-picture, I can do 4-up, I can do 2-up. It can be flipped sideways, even though I don't have it mounted that way, but the original mount has the ability to turn it into portrait. So I could do 2-up if I wanted to. So I could have 2 landscapes on top of each other. When you turn it landscape, then they're not that big. But if I turned it portrait, they would be big. So maybe someday I'll change the mounting here so I can turn my BenQ monitor, but it'll do 3 portrait, 2 portrait, full screen. It'll do 2 landscape and 1 portrait, 3 landscape, 3 landscape, and 1 big. So it's almost kind of like a super source monitor. That's really cool. And here's the sideway layouts. So if you're looking for a 20-inch monitor that has lots of ability, here's the back. And so here are the SDI inputs, 1 HDMI. So you're definitely going to have to ingest SDI into it. So if you only have HDMI in your studio, you're going to have to convert things. But and then here is a 4-up display. Now, I've seen people have their older monitors, Lilliput monitor that had 4 HDMI inputs, I believe. And you could do a 4-up from like multi-view before ATEM came out with multi-view built in. Like the original ATEM Mini did not have multi-view. The ATEM Mini Pro had multi-view. A lot of people were using the Lilliput monitor, but Osee obviously has something modern, new technology, and lots of information here. Let's just keep going down. This is a big page. Optimized for portrait shooting. Again, here is a 3-up look. So pretty cool. So share the live view with your entire crew. View on any screen from client monitors to mobile phones. So it looks like you have to have this device. But that's cool. So color fidelity V2 chip. 22-bit color fidelity. Color precision tutorial. Yeah, lots of way of using it. I like this 3 monitor view. That's pretty cool. Here is false color, markers, focus peaking, zebras, waveforms. And then here's all of the labels, different web pages for adjusting it. So you do have frames you can put up. You can do anamorphic, you can do anamorphic full, and you can do anamorphic magnified, 90-degree lens rotations. And here's a bunch of different mounts. It looks like you can get battery plate, Visa adapter, dedicated forum case, and pretty cool. I'm liking it. So they have a 22-inch called a 22S and a Mega 22S4. So this one doesn't look like it has all of the same crazy features. Let's see if it has any kind of picture-in-picture ability. SDI in, SDI out. Looks like it has 2 inputs in, 2 inputs out. But I don't see any multi-camera display, so you have to switch what input. So $13.99 to $15.99. So $200 more, you get all those features. That monitor, if you're going to spend that kind of money, is a no-brainer. So again, they don't have this GoStream Omni 12 ISO on their webpage yet, but they do have some posts on Twitter. They have some posts on other places. They have coupons out there. There's some pictures of what's happening available out there as well on social media. And again, I'll put some of the links in the description below. So any comments? Chris says, this sounds like a red herring. NDI licensing changed, and now you can't buy a license after the fact. Yeah, I heard that as well, but they're still advertising that you have to buy an NDI license. So I don't know if they extended it to some of the manufacturers. But Grish, I'll take your word for it. So I did want to give everybody an update. I went in and put chapter markers in last week's video. K9 Striker, Sean, one of the viewers, suggested that there might be some issues with the audio drivers. And he suggested in the chat, and I put descriptions and a shout out and links in last week's videos and chapter markers to his chat. So I went back and watched it to do chapter markers, and I saw a suggestion. So I did go to Rode's site. I did download the drivers, and I was able, I'm not going to demo it tonight, but I was able to get FairLight Live to integrate. It would work, but the routing was all wrong. Channel 1 and 2 was actually, or the right and left microphone. Channel 1 was being routed to channel 1 and 2. And once I downloaded those drivers and reopened the software and clicked inside, and actually I'll show you guys where that's at right now, because that'll make more sense if I share this. Bring this over. So this is a beta firmware, but if you go down here, let's close this. If you go down to the settings wheel on the bottom left, you go to the audio page, you can see with the beta update, and there's 2 out. They did a beta, and then they did a beta 2. Same thing for FairLight Live, which is new audio software, so you can integrate your ATEMs and be able to control it through a computer, use plugins, different things like that, VST plugins, and all the effects. But you enable this USB digital audio out. I'm not going to do that while I'm live. And now that I downloaded those drivers, and the link is in the description, I believe, in last week's video. So go check that out. I wanted to give K9 Striker a shout out and thank him, because that did work. It did fix the bug. And I don't know if anybody else on social media are talking about the bug. And I don't know if it's just if you own a Rodecaster Video and you've downloaded their software, if their software made an issue happen with a Windows PC or a laptop, but downloading the newer drivers from Rode fixed my ability to use FairLight Live. And just to get that on tonight's video, let's go to Blackmagic Design. And here you go, FairLight Live. So if you click on this link right here, it's going to give you the newest version, and then you're going to go to the support page. Right here, you're going to click on ATEM production switchers, and then you're going to download this ATEM switcher 10.3 beta 2. That will enable the ability to use your USB-C port as an audio interface. I did plug my Rodecaster Pro into it to see if I could use my Rodecaster Pro as an input into my ATEM, and I was not able to get the ATEM to see it. So I don't know if there's any workarounds, but I find it very interesting that we now have the ability to go into the audio page and enable USB digital audio. Now it takes over that USB-C cable in the ATEM minis or the ATEM Extremes, takes over that port, so you can't use it as a webcam anymore, but it passes audio out and audio in. And FairLight sees all the audio outputs, so it's passing everything, and then it brings the audio back in to your ATEM from FairLight. And again, that's why those drivers need to be working correctly. Okay, so any comments about this amazing Osee GoStream Omni 12 ISO device? Not sure when they're going to release it, not sure how much it's going to cost, but I thought it was worth talking about tonight. I don't see a lot of people talking about it, and I just wanted to talk about it. So how does it compare to a Rodecaster video? How does it replace that? How does it compare to a YoloLiv Extreme that you could actually stream 8K, which we did here on the channel? We brought in remote guests as well a week before that. So we brought in K9 Striker, Sean, and his horse Spirit. And then we also brought in Toto, was in that live stream. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. He was in bed, but he used to scan the QR code, and he joined my live stream as well in the YOLO box. So again, that's a crazy feature, being able to bring up the 5 guests in. I hope they enable bringing in guests in the Rodecaster video. I don't see those features in this Osee GoStream Omni 12 ISO device. So we'll just have to wait and see what it replaces, who might purchase it, what the reaction's going to be. But it was announced at NAB, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So let me click done on that, move this back over here, my control software. And then let's go to at CES 2026. Lots of people were riding this bike, or a number of bikes, and Segways announced bikes at at CES, and I was watching CES videos, and I don't know what I was doing, but these e-bike ads started popping up in my feed, and so I started studying and watching some of the videos. Shannon and I had been talking about getting a e-bike, so we pulled the trigger, and here is my Segway Myon electric bike. We're going to go into the garage here. That's my garage and my SUV in the background. We're going to go in the garage here in a minute on the green screen and let you guys see the e-bike. We're going to also let you see some other things, but We're on a new journey, Shannon and I, and the Segway Myon bike is a part of our journey. Actually, I have a Segway. Shannon has a Bianchi, and I will let you guys see that. I'm not going to talk about that tonight, but hers is a central drive. Mine is a rear hub drive. And so before we go to the garage, let me just let you see a little bit about it. There's the bike. Now, there is 3 options available. There's a rear radar that you can put on your bike and be able to see cars passing you at 4 miles an hour. So built into the right and left little electronic device is a light. So if someone passes me on the left at 4 miles an hour, it will light up on the left. If someone is passing me on the right at 4 miles an hour faster than me on the right, it'll light up on the right only. And then if I turn it on, there's a center reader too. So if someone's about to rear end me, I can then get an alert as well. I have that installed on my bike and I have it turned off. The other thing is a post that goes across here. You're not supposed to lift from it, but it gives you more support because this is a step through e-bike and I wanted extra support. I'm a big guy and I like to hop some curbs occasionally. So I wanted to have that. It has shocks on the front. So I wanted extra support. So I added that. There's also a electronic seat that raises and lowers with a button. Takes over your horn button on the left. And then you can actually assign your horn button to the light, headlight on the right-hand side if you want to. And then you'd have to go in the app to enable the headlight if you wanted to. Comes with an incredible app. And I produced a video. I will be putting a short up on my channel tomorrow. It's like a 45-second video on the my Myon bike, and so I thought it'd be fun to post that tomorrow. My channel is not about e-bikes, but it is about electronics and the journey. And this bike caught my attention because it has integration with your smartphone. You have the ability to locate it remotely like you could a iPhone if it was lost or an iPad. It's just really cool. The audio features in the app are really cool as well. And I may do some videos just on the app on the phone. And I may do a ride video just so people can see. So here is another video playing. You can watch this on YouTube. Gives you a close-up of the bike and some features right here. But again, it is a class 2 and you can change it to class 3 e-bike. So there's a look at that. Here is the little readout screen on the front. And then there's also an app on your phone. It's a 9-speed. It's got an electronic shifter, which is really cool. So I can shift up and down with a push of a button. And you can see the electronic shifter right there that operates on the right-hand column. And so you can fine tune the gears with the app. So depending on if you like to go fast or change the way it shifts, I just left it as is. So again, I had the radar installed. I had the seat, electronic seat that pops up and down and the crossbar. And I'll show you guys that stuff when we get out there. Again, it is a rear hub drive bike. It weighs about 73 pounds before I put anything on it. And so again, I'm loving it. I've done a number of rides. Here's information on the radar, flashing right there on the side, and it can be set to sense a car on the left. Rider passing you on the right will be sensed. And if someone tries to collide in the back of you, that's an option that you can turn on as well. It's got a really nice headlight. There's kind of the app. So you can turn it on and on from the app. I can walk up and the bike will turn on. I can also put a password, a 4-digit password in the bike if I don't have my phone. It connects via Bluetooth. I can control my playlist and stop and start and mute on the bike from my iPhone. So I have an iPhone mount and I can actually control it as I'm going down the highway and change songs. It also has the ability to use the lost and found right here, bypass the lost and found. You have the assisting levels. So you can see you have a number of levels of assist. It also has an auto sensor when you're climbing a hill, and you can set it to low, medium, and high, so it gives you help if you don't have the right gear as you're turning a corner heading uphill, or a hill suddenly comes up. Over-the-air updates, so you can do firmware through the updates. You got a personal ride assistant. You can actually do social media clips if you wanted to, right from the app. And again, it's got a nice battery in it, 722 watt-hour battery, up to 80 miles. It has a rack on the back, and I have already added a bag, but there you can see the battery going in. Comes in 2 colors. I have the gray, but it also comes in this blue color. There's the frame, close-up of the hydraulic disc brake, close-up of the turn signals in the back, and that's the seat that comes included. Mine has been changed. It's got shocks, it's got the handlebars, and then here is some specs. 500 watt rear hub motor, 85 is the torque number, class 2, 20 miles an hour, and class 1 to 20 miles an hour, but it does have a class 3 setting that will enable you to actually have assist over 20 miles an hour. There's laws that depending on the state, so you can actually set it and you can lock anyone out of it if you want to from changing the class number. So more information there about the battery, the water resistant level, Segway intelligent ride system, airlock tech, so it locks the rear hub, Apple Find Me, it's got GPS built in, LOT and cloud binding, automatic software upgrades, Segway mobility app, torque sensor, and rear view radar, which I told you guys I added. Anyway, let's see if there's anything else here that really matters. Okay, so that's kind of a look at the bike. And then let's just jump over here real quick. This is the rack that I got for my 2020 F350. We also bought some Lowell's ramps to get in and out. But this is a RIDE88 rack. This is the QR3. And these mount onto either a pole that can go into the back of your cab in your bed of your truck, or they have brackets that you can screw on, and there's different number of ways to mount this. You can also put it on top of storage boxes. And so let's go through there. So it snaps on the pole. And again, you have the ability to adjust it. They have locks that you can buy that hook on the back right here. And I have 2 of them to lock it to the pole. And they also have a pole lock. And this clamps down. It comes in a box with just this part off and this part off, and then the screws for this right here. So it was really easy to put together and install it. And here you can see it installed on a pole, and he can still use his tonneau cover. Now, I've got it to work with my tonneau cover, even though they told me I couldn't. They told me I'd have to put brackets right here, but I was able to get it to work with my tonneau cover. But I don't like how my tonneau cover leans up against my glass cab, and I'll show you guys that in the garage. So I'm going to take my cover off when I'm doing my long trips and with my bikes, maybe around town. I might leave it on. I might put some extra padding back there, but most of my back of my F350 is glass, and I don't want it to get broken. So I'm gonna show you this installed. They can do up to 4 bikes. I have 2 of these in, just like that shot right there. They can go side to side. If I just wanted to take 1 bike, if I want to take a grandchild with me, they're $269 for extra mounts. So I only have 2 as of right now. And again, it snaps on, and then these brackets go in there, and this center hole is for the lock. And I might show you guys the locks when we're outside if we have time tonight. And I was able to get it to plug in. All of these holes are different in different trucks. And they also made a bracket, like I said. I bought those as well, even though I'm not currently using them. And those brackets plug in right here. And that would mean I would have to leave my tailgate down and buy another device that they have. They have the tailgate boss right here that you can adjust your tailgate up so that you can have your, when you don't have enough space inside your bed and you have a tire still hanging out here, you can get your tailgate up by getting this tailgate boss. And you can see how it attaches right here. They have a strap version and then they have a hard version. And that's if you end up using the brackets right here. And that means you'd lose about 8 inches of depth. And my wife's bike has this much space left before it hits the tailgate. And my bike is about that much shorter than Shannon's bike. She has the larger tires on her bike. And we'll look at that. So the RIDE88 is what I decided to get to put in the back of my truck. I didn't want any bike racks hanging off the back of my truck or the back of my trailer. You can even hang them off the front of your truck. You can even put them above your hitch. You can buy lifts that bring up bikes way up by a window in a motorhome so you can still do a tow car behind it. There's all kinds of lifts, but I did hours upon hours of research, and I went with RIDE88. They are in McCall, Idaho, and not too far from me. So the package arrived in 2 days, and I installed it in my truck. So with that said, any comments before we go out to the garage live tonight and see this firsthand? Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about that device at all. Again, I'm not seeming to get any more chat. Let me look up here in my other chat. Why I keep 2 of these open. Okay, let's look at the poll. So 7 votes, and yes, 14% of you used a GoStream switcher, and 86% of the 7 of you said you've not ever. Now, if I voted, I would be one more person. I've never used a GoStream switcher myself. Grish says, I'm interested in how you will be live from the garage. Okay, so what I've done is I have a streaming bridge inside my studio, and I told you I might go live one more time from my ATEM Mini Pro. So my ATEM Mini Pro is streaming to my streaming bridge, which is under my desk, and my streaming bridge is coming in tonight into channel 4. And so I will go into my control software here real quickly and show you guys this. So let's do this. So right here in channel 4, you can see I have the channel on. This is my wireless Go 2 transmitter and receiver that's going to be attached to my ATEM Mini. My ATEM Mini is streaming directly in to my streaming bridge, and my streaming bridge HDMI is plugged into channel 4 of my ATEM Extreme tonight. So that's right here. It says Extreme 2, but I'm bypassing my Extreme number 2 tonight to bring it in directly, and then the audio will feed into tonight's show. Now, it's not this wireless microphone. This is the one I can use in here. Let's change microphones back. We'll take this one off. By the way, I've done this before, and I have a video on my channel on how I did it. So I've turned this off. Hopefully it was working earlier. Hopefully this was working earlier when I had it on. I got them both on now, so we'll leave this one here. I apologize if there was no audio in that part. So back to this microphone. Going to turn this one off. It's holding the button down. That way there won't be any interference for whatever reason. I have a macro that goes like this. And so it's got this camera up there. You can see it is live. So you'll be able to see me leave. So I'm going to take my phone to monitor, and I'm going to take mix effects on my iPad. So let's just switch this back here real quick. So I'm going to take mix effects with me, and so I can switch to my ATEM Mini Pro. So I'm going to do that now. It asks me if I want to connect. So now I'm connected to my ATEM Mini Pro. And this should work in the garage because I have a wireless network in my house. So we're going to take that. We're going to take my phone, and I'm going to mute this microphone right now. And we're going to go. Okay, this should be live. I don't know if the audio is loud enough, but you guys should be seeing me. I have a green screen behind my bike, and if you don't believe me, let's go like this. So now you can see I have a green screen behind me, so I have the key set to green screen chroma key in, and when I transition, it turns the key back on. So now the key's back on. And now I'm green screen. So this is my bike, and I've got my Osbot Tiny 3 right here. Let me go over to the other switcher. Go to my ATEM Extreme ISO, and I'm going to hit connect. And let me go to the audio page, and it shows me that you guys are getting audio out of the master. So it should be working. It's not very hot, and I apologize. I will talk a little bit louder, but then again, here is my bike, and so I'll zoom out here a little bit, and actually let's just turn the green screen off and transition to me. So this is my bike, and so you got the handlebars. This is my phone mount. The readout here, I'll turn this just a little bit this way so you guys can see it. And then I can unlock it. So we'll unlock it right now. So it is unlocked. And I think I can get you closer to those controls right here. So you can see I have the ability to turn the assist up and down right here. And I got my phone mount, so my phone can just drop right in there. This is the turn signal right here. The phone mount kind of blocks this one, so I've got to get a different phone mount. But again, the app, I have a throttle right there. Can I get in? That's as close as I can get. So I got a throttle button right here, brakes on the right and left. This is the battery compartment. And so then you can see I have the bar on here. And so the bar just bolts on right here. And right here, you're not supposed to lift from it, but I can put a water bottle and all that on there. This gives me more support for the bike. So it's going to be less opportunity for it to bend in half if I do too much on it. And again, you can see the rear wheel hub. Let's go down here. And that's as close as I can get right there. So you got the electronic sensor on the other side. This just matches it. And then this is the rear wheel system. And then I added a bag. This is a really cool bag. Let's go out a little bit and let's get me in the frame here. I'll go over here. Okay, I'll stand back here. So if I open these zippers, this will actually come out and be a hanging bag. And I have this on both sides. And then got a bungee cord up here. I have my old DJI Pocket, the original one, in here so I can shoot some video when I'm running around. My water bottle goes right here. And this is mounted on the back. And then let me turn the bike around here so you guys can see this. Okay, let's just adjust this a little bit. And right here is the radar device. I think you guys can see that. It's this little radar here. It's got a tag on it, and it just bolts on under here, and it wires in. And then I have the telescoping seat as well. So if I was to back this up just a little bit so I don't ruin my green screen, let's just go back. If I was to push this button right here, saw my seat pop up. So you want to stand up, and then you can actually adjust it. So when you push the button, it will adjust, and then you stop it with your body, and then you release the button, and now that's the seat height. So the cool thing about that, the reason I added this to my bike is I'm getting older, and I want to be able to stretch out my legs when I'm riding, have the right seat height. But when I get to an intersection or I have to stop and put my feet down, I can push that button, and my weight will let me drop the seat. So the seat is electronic. It has to have weight on it to get it to drop. But it actually even has a sensor inside of it. If I want it to automatically turn off, or automatically, it senses when I slow down at an intersection and it shuts off. And I mean, it drops. And I didn't like that because it was sudden, and it was always before I got to a full stop. So I turned that feature off, and now I just use this button right here to raise and lower the seat, which is great. And when you add the seat, it takes over that button, which is your horn. And then you have one more button over here. Let me close this phone adapter here. It's spring-loaded. And so you have the up and down button. You have the up and down button right here, and this button's normally the horn, but now this button has been taken over. So, and then this is the up and down for, this is the up and down for assisting, and this is the up and down for shifting, if I remember right. Now I'm having a brain fart. So, again, so that's my bike, and kind of an overlook. You can see the bar a little closer there, and I love the ability for the seat. Now, this is a Cloud 9 seat. I put a Cloud 9 softer seat on Shannon's, and I'll show you guys Shannon's bike here in a second. And then I put the this Cloud 9 on mine. This is a little different than Shannon's seat, but they're both by Cloud 9. Hers has a spring shock into it. So let's pull my bike out of the way, and let's pull Shannon's in. Here is Shannon's bike. So hers is a Bianchi. She's got a different Cloud 9 seat on hers. I'll zoom into that so you guys can get a better look. Right there. She also has a dog carrier on the back that Zoe can go in here, and it closes on top of her, and she hides her helmet in here. She has less complicated controls on her bike, and hers is a center drive. So her motor is right down here, and way less electronics. You don't use an app with her bike. It tells you trip, it tells you how fast you're going, but you have to actually guess what gear you're in. Mine actually tells you on the readout what gear you're in. But there's hers, so let's take a look at her. Her tire is a little bit bigger than mine, right there. And you can see her frame is a step through as well. And her motor is inside this compartment. Same location that her battery, not her motor. Motor's in the center of the wheels. Now, the nice thing about a center drive is it's balanced. It's way less back heavy. Mine is 43 or so pounds in the back and 30 in the front. So then here's the back of hers, and you can see she doesn't have the big power hub, but she has a 9-speed as well. And this is called a T-Tronik C-type, and that is her key location right here. Her key lock location is right here. And so you want to take the batteries out when you're traveling, for sure. You know, be careful that you don't hurt yourself on your bike. Now, let's switch back to key on the air. And let's go back here. There we go. And so that's Shannon's bike and my bike. And you can see I have the key on, so that's the end of the green screen right there. And if we go this way, you can see that's my garage. So let's go ahead and let's turn the key off. Let's cut back to this view, and let's go into the truck now. My auto did not work. Wrong way. You want to go this way. So here's the back of my truck. And there is the RIDE device we're talking about. Let me move my light. Moved my light over there so you have more light in the truck. So again, a lot of sun because I got my truck in the garage, so I apologize. See if I can get this Osbot camera to focus. There's a wider view So let me walk around here. So this is the RIDE88 system, and here's the locking mechanism right there. And I have two of those, and again, they'll slide back and forth. And then there's a buckle on those. You can see the buckle right here on the ground. There you go. So bottom of the tire sits there. It's got 3 points of protection. And then let's memorize that spot real quick. Sorry about the light. It's the sunshine coming in. But these are the little brackets. What this does, this hooks on the back of the bed of the truck. Then you can close the tailgate around it. And then the strap goes through those buckles. And then there is a tire strap. So that's what holds the back tire down by hooking this on the back of the bed of the truck and then closing the tailgate. And then this strap goes through. You tighten it down hand tight. And then there's a strap that actually goes around the bike. I have not used these yet, but the front has 3 points of protection, and it hooks in there and clamps down, and then this holds the back tire down. And again, this is a great system. I absolutely am loving what I see so far. So back to the truck. These are the ramps that I bought from Lowe's, and so these actually are 8 feet long, and they have safety straps, so I can run the bike up one and walk up the other one. My truck is pretty high, so it is a challenge to get in and out of the truck using that. But I've done it twice on the driveway, and if I get it out of the driveway on level ground, that'll actually be less of an incline. And so Shannon and I are going to load them and unload them together, but we needed a way of loading our bikes on and off for this trip. So really cool that we're on this journey together on the e-bikes. Shannon wanted one, I wanted one. We got our truck paid for, and so rather than taking that money and using it for all the other stuff that we need to do around the house, we decided to take that money as well as some other money that we had saved and buy 2 e-bikes. We got them both on sale. And I actually have permission to do a video with my local dealer on the bikes. Another dealer sold Shannon's bike, and that dealer is over in Kennewick. And again, this is a Bianchi right here, and my Myon by Segway is over there. Now, Segway's been around for a while, but they have mainly been all about scooters, and I guess one of the CEOs actually got hurt on a scooter. But for whatever it's worth, if you're safe and you think about safety, you should be fine. I'm mainly just using it for pedal assist up hills. I still want the workout. Shannon and I are working on getting in shape. So I've been walking and I've been riding, and the e-bikes now can go in our truck. We can hook up to our trailer. We're actually leaving to go camping on Thursday morning. We'll be back for next week's Tuesday live stream, but we're leaving for the weekend, and we're taking the bikes with us. So I needed to get the rack in. I needed to get everything ready to go. I've got to take my tonneau cover off. Remember I talked about I was worried about my tonneau cover breaking the back of my cab? Well, there's my tonneau cover tilted up right there. And it has, it leans right up against the glass. And because the way this hitch installs through that bar, I can't do a metal bar behind my cab because most of them mount. Let's see, am I going to be in this shot? Let me walk around a shot that you guys can see. Where am I? Am I in this shot? There I am. So this holds it up. These brackets slide up and down, and then there's these rods that hold up my my backflip M4, and it's actually up against the glass. I don't have a shot of that tonight. That was my mic that fell off. Too much work tonight. So let me put that mic back on and transition back over here. So I'm just turning the key on and off. This is my green screen in the garage. I also have black and white fabric back here. Here's a better view, and the other fabrics are up there. So you can see the white, can't really see the black. My bike is turning off. It is set to turn off after 10 minutes. So here is the black. So you can see those three pieces of fabric here in the studio. There's just paper backgrounds, and I can do photos in here. I have 2 air conditioners that I can put under the garage doors to vent them, and I can cool off this garage, and I can do photo shoots out here. I know the audio isn't that great because it's very echoey in here, and I'm using the wireless Go 2, but I wanted to give you guys the ability to see the garage, to see my truck, to see the 2 bikes, and talk about this e-bike journey. So the last thing I want to say about that before I go back in the main studio is, obviously, my channel is not about e-bikes, it's not about bike racks, it's not about trucks, but what you do and where you go when you're on your leisure days. I want to do some live streaming from some of these locations in the future. So over the next 3 or 4 years, you're going to see me probably go live with my e-bike in the scene, maybe from my truck. Because Shannon and I want to do way more traveling. She's going to slow down her schedule over the next year, and I've already semi-retired running my channel. I do consulting to people who take advantage of my free 1-hour consult and then decide they want more help from me. Again, my prices are great. I've seen other people's prices. They've shared them with me, and I can tell you that my helping people that are live streaming with tech is very affordable. So yeah, no strings attached. If you want to take advantage of that free 1-hour Zoom, I'll put the link in the description tonight, and you can just fill out the form and say I want to join you for a 1-hour Zoom call. We could get acquainted. You could tell me what you're doing, and then if you want to know more about my consulting programs, you can ask me at that time. If not, it'd just be great to meet you personally. So again, shout out to the webcam designers of like Insta360, Link 2 Pro. You have the YoloCam S3, and now tonight I'm using the Osbot Tiny 3 because I can use the UVC converter to convert it to HDMI, and I can bring it in as camera 1 in my ATEM. Now, I'm not using the green screen features that you can use inside this webcam inside a PC. I'm actually using the ATEM Mini's green screen or chroma key feature that's available in key number 1, and I'm using that right now to do that green screen effect. So what I'm transitioning to is the background, and that's in my media player. So now you just have the background, and then if I turn my key on, then the overlay is now my key. And you can see some of the edges are not as good as the lower sections because I got my black fabric hanging down now, and it's not green, so it's not keyed out. But the idea tonight was to be able to show you guys the ATEM Mini streaming to the streaming bridge. The streaming bridge HDMI is coming into channel 4 tonight. You're hearing the audio from the ATEM go through the streaming bridge into channel 4, and from channel 4 into my live stream. And again, it's a lot of fun. So let's go back to my ATEM Mini Pro here. Connect. And again, Mix Effects is a great app. I'm hoping to have Adam Tao here on the channel again very soon. But if we go to the audio page, there's the audio page. So you can see my mic is coming in and going out the main. and then that is coming in to my ISO, Extreme ISO in the studio. And again, I have my ISO, I have two ISO ones, I don't know why, but I have ISO 2 in my ATEM Mini Pro, so we'll go into ISO 1 and connect. And there it is connected. We'll go to the audio settings, and there you can see the audio coming in as a input, which is EXT2, which is channel 4. And then you guys are hearing that. It's not super hot, but we're going to now go back. Well, let me look in the chat. You guys have any questions or anything you want to see why I'm still in the garage? Let's see here. I'm just going to read it from my phone. Are you going rig? Let's see. Let's back up here. Keith, very thorough. You can sell anything, even helping a person make a 50K decision with an RV purchase. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I sold RVs for 23 years. So, and again, I'm just helping people find what they're looking for. I had to learn that the hard way. It costs what it costs, and your trade is worth what your trade's worth. And my responsibility is just to communicate on your behalf and get values, find out what needs to be repaired, what you need in your new RV. Make sure you're not towing something too heavy for your rig. Try to help you understand the difference between a travel trailer, a fifth wheel, a Class C, Class B, motorhome. And again, that's second nature to me, even though I haven't been selling really full-time since 2018, but I did a couple contracts, and it's second nature. So can't put that on the screen, Grish, but thank you. Okay. Let's see. What is the max miles per hour under power? If you go into Class 3 mode, I think you can go up to 28 miles an hour. The throttle is disabled. And then if you're in Class 2, you have the throttle up to 20, and you can then be assisted up to 20. And you think 20 miles an hour is really fast when you get on a bike, but it's not at all. So I've tried it both ways, and I leave it as Class 2 because mostly what we're doing is leisurely riding. And Shannon doesn't like to go super fast, so we usually ride together. Maybe when I go out for some rides by myself, I will crank that sucker up to see what I could do. But again, Segway is doing a motorcycle now, so they have a new bike they just announced. They announced 3 bikes at CES. They have more bikes coming. And my bike guy here in Reborn Bikes in Richland, Washington, off of G-Way, who I will be interviewing here pretty soon and showing you his store and all that stuff for my channel. But I figured, hey, if Tom Buck can get away with 3D printers and see his videos explode, who knows, maybe doing a Segway Myon video on my channel and talking about the RIDE88 rack for different pickup trucks. And again, they have all kinds of different ways to hook it up in different pickup trucks. You could do up to, like I said, 4 bikes and move them around and reposition them. So it's really cool. So again, thank you so much for staying tuned tonight. Looks pretty steep to load on. Yeah, it's very steep. So we were looking for a number of different ways. There's another company that makes a rack or a ramp that folds in half. One side's a ladder, like a step ladder, and the other side is a ramp, except for the steps were pretty janky. So this one's pretty good. Who knows, we might put a piece of ABS on it. And so I don't know. It's got good grips. You just have to be very careful. I wish we had a handle. Now, I do have a handle that folds out on my truck and a step. So I may try to have that handle out from now on because we're not using the steps, but I think I can use the step out as well. And maybe I'll show you guys later on my truck. So, okay. Are you going to rig it so that you can stream from the bike like Aaron? I'm talking about it. I don't know how. I definitely will not take the YoloBox Extreme, which doesn't belong to me, and put it on the bike. But I am really considering, Insta360 has a new mobile gimbal coming out. It even has a detachable handle, so you can remote control it. Really cool with the LCD screen. It's a pre-release. It's hush-hush, but it's supposed to have about the same kind of video quality as the new DJI Pro, 2 cameras. So I may be getting that and getting a mount so I can use that. I'm leaning that way. I have some money set aside. So who knows? I might be adding the Insta360
device. I don't know why the camera just changed, but I guess that's okay. We'll leave it. Okay, looks pretty steep. Tony might convince you to get another kind of bike. Imagine Keith on a Harley. Yeah, I don't think so. My mom would roll over in her grave. She forbid my brother and I to ever get those kind of bikes for the street. So far I've honored her wishes and I'm still alive, but nothing against those bikes. I have lots of friends over the years, lots of clients that had motocross. I've rode motocross before, so it's just as dangerous as a street bike. And I have wrecked my motocross bike on the street. So anyway, I have burns on my body from laying my motorcycle down on asphalt. So would you rather have a bike? I'd rather have an e-bike than a street bike. When I ride the motorcycle, I don't worry about my own riding skills. I worry about the crazies. Yeah, that's one thing we've noticed. I may get a rear view mirror. Even though I have the radar on my bike, I'd like to see what's coming behind me. Shannon and I try to stay off the streets as much as we can, but many of you know it's pretty impossible. Lots of bike paths around our neighborhood, which is really cool. We're going to go out again tonight, and that'll be fun. Shannon's actually doing a home visit. She left as I was live streaming from the garage. She parked her car outside because I told her, I know you're going to leave right when I'm middle of my live stream. So she moved her car outside tonight. So Streaming Bridge doing a great job. Cool. Yeah, Streaming Bridge is a great device. It's not an NDI. It's not SRT. It's whatever Blackmagic Design is, probably like a secret version of 2110. But it's a great tool. And if you could open up your portal to your house, you could have someone stream into it to your Streaming Bridge from someplace else. All you got to do is send them the password and the code, the XML file, and they could access your Streaming Bridge. So Tony, if I opened up my port forwarding, I could actually send you the code and you could come on my live stream through a Streaming Bridge, and you can see it would send audio from your ATEM directly to the Streaming Bridge, and then the Streaming Bridge could bring audio in. We would have to do a back channel Zoom to communicate back and forth, and I guess I'm hoping that they'll fix that in the future. Streaming Bridge doing great. Are those for headshots, the backgrounds? Are those for headshots? Yeah. So this is my cabinet. Right, that's my truck. This is my cabinet right here. You can see half of it. I've done a tour here before. So I have a bag of lights right here in a rolling bag by Manfrotto. Then I have a two-sided cabinet. So I have all kinds of professional photography stuff in here, videography. I have soft boxes in there. I have flashes. I have all kinds of stuff. So I can do professional photography, professional headshots, talking head videos. I can do lots of things. I can do remote shoots. I have flashes by Canon that I can take remotely. And I also have alien bees that I can, what's the deal here? I can take out remotely with me. So it's a lot of fun. I don't do a lot of photography anymore. I live stream and I do consulting. So, and I do installs with different venues when I can help them because I like to do this live as well. So it's a lot of fun. So, okay. I think I've covered most of your questions. Let's see. Have you ever bought anyone in remotely using the Streaming Bridge? No, I never have. I've always been afraid to open up my port forwarding to give anybody access to my network. I'm not necessarily super intelligent about my network. I lean on Mark a lot. He's doing some big jobs now, contracting with NASA, so he's hard to get a hold of, but he's the one that installed my network in my house, and he's also the one that sells me my internet, and I get it dirt cheap. So I can't complain. He's a great friend. He's treating us really good. Started giving my mom and dad, they moved in their house next door 3 months earlier than we did, and we found out how they got internet. No one else had internet. Cable companies hadn't come in yet. The only way you could get internet was some form of satellite or microwave or whatever this is called. And it goes, you guys know I've done a live stream on it before, but it is sent to a receiver on the back of my house and then brought in. So again, it does have packet loss. It's not the same as other things. And I do think next year they're going to bring in fiber in my neighborhood, and I think the box is in my yard. So And that's like 15 feet from my entrance to my house where all of my cable needs to come in. So I'll have to then change how you bring it into the house, because all the way by my bedroom is where the network is. So one cable comes into my network switch, and that goes throughout my house. And I have different switches throughout my house. So, okay. Let's see, did I miss anything? Oh, if you use Unify, you can use their free teleport VPN instead of port forwarding. I didn't know that. I am using Unify. So, and Grish, I've said I'd love to have a free conversation with you. Doesn't have to be a consult. You're in Spokane. I'd love to maybe, when I get up to that area, I have family that lives north of Coeur d'Alene. So when I get up that area, I would love to maybe get together with you and learn a thing or two, or see what you do. If you're open to that, just let me know. Use the link in the description of one of my videos and reach out to me so we can exchange emails. I would love to learn how to use that. I'd be curious to see what the latency would be like using the Stream Bridge with a remote guest. I'd be curious too. So maybe we can figure out how to use that unified teleport VPN and come into my house. So yeah, scooters are very dangerous, Grish. I totally agree. I already broke my ankle, and I already had an accident on my e-bike. So I was going off the side of a ramp, and I missed the end and came off of the end. And when I was setting my bike down on the grass, the back tire jumped off that's why my bottle is not in my bag in the back, my water bottle, because I bought a metal water bottle to stay cool. And that hit me in my back leg muscle with the weight of the bike plus my chain. I have a 15-pound chain, so we can chain our bikes up. But anyway, I got hurt. It's taken me a couple weeks to fully recover. I was on crutches for 3 days back 2 weeks ago. So Saturday was 2 weeks since that little accident. And I actually had to call a couple friends. Shannon was in the middle of a class to have them come pick me up and grab my bike, throw it in the back of their truck next to actually a chair they were delivering, and they brought me home. I then went in my SUV from their truck, which was parked in the driveway, so I had to walk like 4 feet with their help. Sat down in my SUV, went to my daughter's house to get some aspirin and Advil and some arnica, which is like this anti-inflammatory cream you can rub on the muscle, and then sat in the driveway until Shannon's done with her class, asked her to come out, and I told her the story in my SUV, and she looked at me like, you gotta be kidding me. We just recovered from your break, and you're able to walk and ride your bike again, and now you can't walk? Anyway, she was not super excited with me. Okay, so let's head back to the studio. So I'm going to turn this mic off, and we'll pick up a mic when we get back in there. So enjoy the still image while I move in there. Let me turn the mic off. I'm back. And till I get this open so I can use the macros. Again. I love Mix Effect. I'm a big fan of Adam Tal. We've become friends now, and we've chat on back channels all the time now, and I'm really excited about that. He has two or three apps he's created now. One
follows your eyes. Let's see if we can get this camera in focus here. What's going on? Come on, camera. There we go. So let's just make sure I have audio in the studio. Yes, I do. So anyway, so that's all I had for tonight. I wanted to talk about this new device by GoStream, Osee, 12 inputs, HDMI 8, SDI 8, and then other ways to bring in devices through USB as well as NDI and SRT, and that's very similar to Rode's 5 channels, with 2 of them being NDI. And then you go to the YoloBox Extreme. It has 8 inputs, plus you can bring in, if you're on a remote, if you're using Osee's site to stream, now they've enabled the ability to not use their site and just go directly to YouTube. But if you want to use their guest feature, then you do have to use it. And if you want to use their chat feature to pop chat on, you've got to use their site because it's all integrated. You could always use HDR graphics, or you could use Aaron Parecki's Chrome plugin and bring it into OBS and then display OBS as a key on your channel like I do for chat. So again, thank you guys so much for, let's see, that's supposed to be chat on the air. That means I have a camera going here and not chat. So thank you guys so much for your patience and willingness to allow me to talk about all this crazy stuff. So lost audio, lost the mic. Mic is back. It was not working earlier. Don't know what that was about. Audio is fine. Keith is very thorough. What is the max miles per hour? We did that question. I answered that. Are you going to rig it so you can stream? We talked about that. I definitely wanted to. And there's a couple devices. Magewell, I think, has a new device that Aaron Parecki talks about all the time. I think there is a new device coming out as well from another manufacturer. I think for being remote, I would want something that has a SIM card in it and be able to do 1 or 2 cameras. I don't think people would be super excited about the technology I'm using. They would be super excited about me remote streaming. So I don't think you have to be super complicated because people watch even Aaron Parecki when he was doing something simple. When he was at NAB Live on Sunday morning, he went live from his DJI Pocket 3. So had a very small rig with him this time when he went to NAB. You can check that out. Or maybe it was last year at NAB. I don't know. Just don't break your ankle again. I don't plan on it. Looks pretty steep. I agree. Tony might convince you to get another kind of bike. We talked about that. Yeah, the scooters are the most dangerous. My sister fell. A guy at my company died falling off one riding with his kids. Emergency room nurses say it's the most common motor-related injury. So yeah, we're gonna be super careful. Mainly, it's for bike riding. The challenge is they are heavier, so dangerous to load and unload. So I was looking for a way. I don't like that 75 pounds, and Shannon's is like 58 pounds hanging off the back of my truck or off the back of my trailer, even though my trailer can support a class 2 hitch and support up to 1,000 pounds. But I don't, I think 1,000 pounds, maybe it's 400 pounds. So when I ride the motorcycle, I don't worry about it. Yeah, you got to get the crazy people off the road, and we'll have to check out what we can do in the studio. Streaming from a phone back to studio plus an iPad to control remotely might be a solution to stream from a bike. Yeah, I like that idea, Grish. I've done lots of live streams from my phone. I have clients that stream from their phone using DJI mics or using a wireless Go 2 mic. So again, I'll put my wireless Go 2 back on and turn it on. I do like to be hands-free, but I do like the audio from my SM7B better. So we're approaching 2 hours. Here's what it sounds like from my wireless Go 2. It's a little hotter than my other microphone, so I will try not to blow your guys' ears off. Been talking to Shannon about remodeling the studio. I can't quite decide. I do like having
my 1/6 scale figures around the studio. I like having my Batman connection in here, but I also love Tom Buck's look of his studio. But people are used to me having this monitor behind me and the big TV on the wall, which I can change what's on it. And then the window, when it's wintertime, you get to see people walking by when I first go live. This time of year, it's still kind of overexposed, even though I have darkening fabric on this window. I should have like 3 different shades to pull down for different parts of the year. Winter, none. Spring, some. Summer, lots. But I don't. So have you ever brought anyone remotely? We talked about that. Tail scale. Yeah, I hurt myself by the tail of my bike. Or if you use Unify, we talked about that. I'd be curious to see what the latency is. Again, that's the delay on the streaming bridge. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I'm busy on time. Just had a baby yesterday. Dad for the 4th time. Well, Grish, that's so cool. Congratulations. We all congratulate you. That's awesome. And again, coffee, man. 1 hour would be cool just to swing by, hang out with you. I would be honored to meet you face to face, Grish, if that's ever possible. And Tony says congrats. I get to listen to the stream while doing other stuff. Thanks, Tony from Grish. Well, if you ever wanted to test it out loud, let me know. Yeah, I do want to test it. So we'll have to figure out how to do that. You can stream SRT using the Blackmagic Design camera app back to RCV. Yeah, I haven't figured out how to use that SRT feature yet. I know you have. I will use the Rodecaster Capture app. I also want to get the Wireless Pro. Number one, I want all the features that are in it. I want the microphones that come with it. I want the charging case that doesn't come with the Wireless Go 3 version. I also want to be able to use it with the app. And you have to have the new Wireless Go 3 or the new wireless handheld microphone or the new Wireless Pro set to be able to attach it to the app. Again, DJI has microphones that connect to their app. OBSBot is coming out with new microphones. They just released a kit. I think it's the same microphone that you're going to be able to get to work with their new Luma mobile camera, which is going to be, I think, incredible. When DJI finally gets their Pro version out, which it sounds to me like it's releasing right now, the Luma by Insta360 should be available in the United States, where I'm not sure we're going to see any DJI products in stores. Best Buy recently took down all their DJI products from their store, and they don't have a lot of Rode products anymore. So I don't know what's going on with Best Buy, but I actually saw a PS1 bamboo printer with a, what are those things called that go on top, on display in Best Buy, which I'd never seen before. I don't go to Best Buy that often anymore. I do most of my research online, and then I shop usually through the different stores. So anyway, lots of fun stuff to learn, but it was cool to go in Best Buy and see what's changed, see some of the new laptops. I can't wait till they get all of their 2026 laptops on display. As you guys know, I need to replace my laptop very soon. Scratch that. I thought the RCV supports SRT. It doesn't. It supports NDI. Yeah, but you can also use the YoloBox Extreme until they knock on my door wanting it back. I have a couple more videos I want to make on the Extreme. I just wanted to focus on the ATEM for a while. That's what my channel is known for. And I wanted to do some other streaming too. I want to do more from the RCV, Rodecaster Video. And I also want to continue to experiment with what's available, and maybe someday get my hands on a loaner ATEM Extreme ISO G2. That would be really cool. Check out the Hollyland Lark 2. I saw a video on that the other day. Tony, I need to check into that more. Good to have you, YTMRB. Awesome channel. Are you sticking with the ATEM over the Rodecaster Video? Well, I own both. I bought a return at B&H because I wanted a Rodecaster Video. I've long been a Rodecaster fan. Canon cameras, the Rodecaster Pro, the original one, then the Pro 2. I have 2 of those. I've never owned a Rodecaster Pro Duo.
But those are great devices. So I wanted to get a Rodecaster Video. I love that they're starting to integrate. I can't wait till they integrate the Rodecaster Video S with the Rodecaster Pro 2 and Duo, so that you can use all the channels together like you can with a Rodecaster Pro 2 and a Rodecaster Pro Duo with a Rodecaster Core. And if you haven't seen the Core, check that out. That's a cool device. No buttons on it. It's a copy of the Rodecaster Video S, but it does have an extra USB-C port on the front, so you can hook up it between your Rodecaster Pro 2 or Duo, and you can use it all integrated together with the latest firmware beta updates. So, okay. So again, a shout out to K9 Striker Sean for sharing that bug fix for the audio drivers. And again, check out last week's video. I have chapter markers on my last 4 live streams, so go back and rewatch those. There's a lot of good stuff in my live streams. Hit the like tonight. If you haven't subscribed, and if you're chatting, you are, because I have chat, subscribe only chat enabled. So after you subscribe, 1 minute later, you can chat with us. And I do that mainly to stop spammers. And so, yeah, subscribe if you haven't. If you haven't been chatting with us, please join the chat. In just a few more weeks, somewhere between now and the first week of July, we're going to have another town hall, which just simply means I'm going to host a Zoom meeting for anybody who wants to join. And the way you get invited to that is either be someone that normally attends and let me know during the live stream that you would like to attend it. And obviously, you probably wait till the dates are announced. And if you've never attended one of my Zoom town halls and you want to meet the other people that show up face-to-face on Zoom, again, then you'll just have to ask to be a part of the town hall. Give me your name and your email in the link that will be in the description tonight. Same link that you use when you request a free 1-hour Zoom consult, 1 per person. So I love Hollyland Lark 2. I got Gris to buy a set. He loves it as well. Small but not intrusive, great sound. Yeah, I'm just wondering about the integration with my Rodecaster Pro 2, because I use this attached directly. So I'm kind of in the Rode wheelhouse, but I know that those are great. I've seen videos from other people that I follow on those devices, and it is great. I love the automation of the Rode, the ability to auto switch back to cam, etc. Load clips. I'm sure the next version will be something special. Yeah. And I think I had a conversation with another YouTuber that I got a chance to do a face-to-face this last week, and who has a channel a lot larger than mine, like some of you have already met personally, like Tony and others on the channel. But when we were talking about Rode and what Rode's doing, and we're both Rode users, and we were talking about it, and I said, I think Rode was just trying to make something that was cost-effective. So make it a core in that price range, because you might already have a Rodecaster Pro 2 or Rodecaster Duo, then integrate it. Use the buttons on the Rodecaster Pro 2 or the Duo and use the faders. But I can't wait until they build a console with video built into it. So like a Rodecaster Pro 2 that has more inputs, has a baby with a Rodecaster Video that has more video inputs and adds SRT and a bigger LCD screen. So, and we ask for everything, but we don't want to pay for everything. And that's the challenge with these devices. And you can see Blackmagic Design went a whole different direction pretty much this year with their announcements at NAB. And we need to really spend more time on what Rode and Blackmagic's doing. I also have a lot of people now following my channel, watching my videos on the Presonus 32SC, which was updated last year. Has Roland colors now because they're all one company, but it's basically the same device. It's just better named, better colors in my opinion, but super powerful. Live venue device, or you could use it for live streams in a church or a concert venue.
You could actually use 2 of them, have one in one room and one in another room, and assign the preamps to one particular console. So whatever they do on the other room, it doesn't change the preamp settings. So they can change up and down their volume for a live stream, and it will not affect the house's volume. And then you have the 16M in-ear units. They're super powerful. So you have 64 different streams divided by 8 sets of streams. So 64 divided by 8. And you can take any one of those 8 and assign them to an 8.8 stage box or another 16.8. So you could use all 64 streams and assign them to different pieces of equipment. And then you can go in and route whatever you want to those streams. So you could have streams 1 through 8 assigned to a in-ear, first 8 channels in an in-ear mix. And then you could say, I want bass to go to channel 1. I want the mains, for whatever reason, go to channel 2. The tape out to go to channel 4. And that person, wherever he's at, hooked up to the network with a 16M in-ear device, could then listen to whatever. So technically, you could literally use it as a mixing device in another room. So again, or a recording studio. So a vocal booth, a drum booth, a guitar booth, and the main booth all could have their own ability. Console in the main control room, and you could have 16Ms in all the other ones, and everything could be networked. So including their stage boxes can be networked. So pretty cool, and you can even convert. They sell a converter to go from the technology that Presonus uses to a Dante system if you want to. And Presonus, I think, now is doing NSB networking speakers, just like there's already Dante-enabled speakers. So all you gotta do is plug a CAT cable or a Neutrik cable into, I think it's a Neutrik cable, into a speaker and not have to run snakes, which is great. Still might want to use a snake around a drum, cage, but who knows? You might just use an 8.8 stage box that gives you 8 outs and 8 ins, and that's plenty for drums. So one feature I wish the Rode had was the ability to have pages for scenes and media so that you could load way more like soundboard on a mixer. Yeah, and there is definitely limits with Rode. And we might see it. They keep adding new features to their software. They have the one free NDI app, which is great. You can do 2 cameras or picture-in-picture. And great. It's going to have some latency, but you can end NDI. So I have some friends that may just do a Rodecaster video and NDI to it through multiple iPhones. So pretty cool. Gotta run. Have a great week, everyone. Be safe on the bike. Keith, thanks. Yeah, let's wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I am Keith. This is Life Journey Productions. I hope to see you in the next video, the next live, as well as check out my Myon little short that'll be on my page tomorrow. So have a great night. Hope you enjoyed RIDE88 bike racks. You enjoyed the Myon and the Bianchi bike tour. The streaming bridge use today from the garage using my ATEM, as well as all of the moving around and learning more about Osee GoStream 12-channel video mixer. Lots of things coming down the pipe. It's going to be a lot of fun on this ride. Until next time, be safe.